Hey everybody, Derek here. I'm here to bring another video for The Walking Dead Season 5. And today what we're going to be doing is a basically a predictions video for the upcoming episode of Walking Dead, Cross, the episode before the mid-season finale. I cannot believe that we are already there, but I'm just going to give my thoughts based on some things that I read, the promos, and just seeing what might happen. So just in case you're not caught up, you might be spoiled if you do watch this video because it's going to reveal certain plot lines, and again, it might contain information that might happen in the next episode. So if you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch the video. Okay. But first, what I want to quickly address something. I had to log off the channel for a few days in order to catch up on some schoolwork. And when I got on today, I noticed that, some user who was probably just trolling and putting inappropriate remarks in various people's videos put a very rude remark in my going nuclear video review using some foul language. And if anybody saw that comment made by that user, I do apologize. I try to promote a channel that does not have any foul language, rude or crude statements, anything of that nature. I try to promote an appropriate channel so that way people of all ages can watch, and I try to monitor that. And if I find users that are doing things like that, I do ban them from the channel in order to make sure that they don't return and do something like that again. So if anybody saw that negative remark, I do apologize, and I will make sure to check all of my videos and make sure that there's no other comments that this person left. If anybody does see anything that anybody has written that is inappropriate, that contains foul language, stuff like that, just let me know and I'll make sure to take care of it. But I want to thank all of my subscribers because you guys are definitely very awesome individuals, and I enjoy having conversations with you about The Walking Dead and Z Nation, and I just really appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are honestly the best, so thank you very much. And that's why I try to promote a great channel, so that way we can have great discussions about Walking Dead and Z Nation. So I hope to continue to promote that in the future. Thank you again. Okay. So in the promo and the sneak peeks, one of the things that we saw was, Beth is still at the hospital, obviously, with now 2 scars, kind of very symbolic towards Andrea, when she received her 2 scars. And basically, she basically forms an argument to, help her save Carol. And Dawn says, pull the plug. If the woman lives, she lives. If she dies, she dies. Well, I don't think that's going to go over very well. And one of the things that I read is Beth now has a new mission, and that's to save Carol. So I think that what we're going to see is, Beth taking steps in order to save Carol. And this is just a prediction, but I thought to myself, what if she takes Dr. Edwards hostage? I was thinking about something like this happening. I really think that if you really want to get people on the edge of their seats for the season finale, you put, Beth and Carol in a position that's kind of, shaky, and then you put Rick's group in a position that's kind of shaky, and then you put Abraham's group in a similar position. And I think that that could definitely, help save Carol's life. But it can also put Beth and Carol in a very dangerous position, because once Dawn gets a hold of them, if something happens, then she's going to be ticked and could be on the verge of killing Beth or Carol or both. But I think that's definitely a possibility. Beth might look at the situation and go, well, if Dawn's not going to take care of Carol, I guess I got to, and I only know so much, so hey, Dr. Edwards, come here. Grabs a scalpel and says, you're going to heal my friend, or I'm going to slit your throat. And that's not going to go over well for Dr. Edwards, and obviously Dawn is not going to want to lose Dr. Edwards, so I think that's very possible that could happen. We'll have to wait and see, but I think that, like one of the things I did read was that, Beth is at this point on a mission to rescue Carol, and I think that's the best way that it can happen, is if she does take Dr. Edwards hostage. And of course, we have Rick's group, which is going to consist of Rick, Daryl, Sasha, Tyrese, and Noah, leaving the church in order to go rescue Carol and Beth. And a lot of people may be wondering, wow, Tyrese is going along. And of course, there's a lot of significance behind that because we've noticed just how much Tyrese has stepped back from his role as, being I don't know if you could ever necessarily say that he was, um, a leader. I think that at the time, when Tyrese was leader of the group, it was more because he saved Donna's life and because, he had his sister there and just he was the strongest one of the group. But it seemed like he didn't have to lead the group and make tough decisions like, Rick has had to. And you've seen how he's just, pulled himself back and, became like, Judas' babysitter, not involving himself with any of the violence or any of the Walker killings, stuff like that, because he said he couldn't. And gradually, we've seen him come out of that, by beating Martin up. I mean, you can't deny that, he did act. And, putting Bob down, that again is another example of him stepping forward. And I think now, seeing that Carol has been kidnapped after everything that Carol has done for him, he's going to be going with the group in order to, save her because that's something he feels he needs to do. Could mean bad news for Tyrese. I've often wondered if they will kill him off in the mid-season. I think it's about at a 50-50 chance right now. I mean, I would say that Beth or Carol are more likely to die. And I've often wondered, would there just be only one character death or would they risk two? And they might. They've been pretty light on character deaths, especially ones of the main cast. I mean, yeah, Bob was technically main cast, but not so much as somebody like Daryl or Rick or Carol or Glenn. They've really been keeping a lot of the core group members alive. And I mean, that's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. I like seeing these people, but if you don't kill a couple of them off, it kind of seems, a little unrealistic. Oh, these people are always surviving. I mean, a couple have to, yes, but, I think that there is a chance that, Tyrese finally stepping forward and performing may mean that he comes full circle. But on the other hand, I think that there's a lot more that they can do with Tyrese's character. And one of the things that I also read was that Tyrese is going to be helping Sasha out with her grieving process. And that's something that's going to be explored in this episode, I think, because really all the episodes that we've seen since Bob's death, the one was focused on Beth, the one was focused on just Abraham, and then the Daryl Carol thing was kind of a flashback slash, it's happening in between. It's kind of hard to tell like the order that everything was happening in, but we really haven't seen, Sasha grieve Bob's death, and what is she going to do about that? Is she going to be taking her anger out on, the Walkers? Are we going to see her, taking more risks? Is she going to be using that fire to, attack the people at Grady Memorial? We don't know. And, Tyrese is just one of those people who he tends to, have a calming effect on people. And I think that, Tyrese would be that guy who, if you are having a bad day, you would want his hug and, to, comfort you. And I think that Tyrese has the capability of doing that. And I'm very interested to see how the brother-sister relationship goes. And I hope they explore that a little longer. Now that they finally kind of brought Sasha out a little more with Bob's death, I think she's a very valuable character, and I feel like Tyrese and Sasha could still learn a little bit from each other before one or the other gets killed off. So I'm hoping that we do explore that a little bit in this episode as well. I've read that, they do come up with a plan, but that it doesn't go according to plan. Surprise, surprise. One of the things that I was thinking about was, maybe they tried to, stop one of the cars. And, sneak in that way, kind of like, hey, everybody get in the back of the car and we're going to put the gun to the guy's head and he's going to drive us right in. We're going to burst out and, bam, 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 or whatever. You get what I'm saying. I think that's very possible. That is their plan, in order to get inside. Another thing that I was thinking about was, again, especially with Abraham's group, we're really going to be wondering what are they going to be doing. Because part of me thinks, well, they may be trying to, get Eugene help, but are they just going to be focused on staying put or going to the next town? Or are they going to think of, hey, Atlanta's this way, and are they going to start driving that way and reconnect with Rick's group sometime by the mid-season finale? Because I really doubt that they're going to meet together before the end of this upcoming episode. I would be very surprised if those two groups ran into each other that quickly. At this point, I think that it's excuse me. I think it's very clear that they may start to either make their way back to the church, and they may get to the church and find out that the group went after Beth and Carol. On the other hand, it may be that they get to go to Atlanta, and sometime in the mid-season finale, Coda, they do meet up with Rick's group. I think that might be possible, but one of the things I did learn about the Abraham's group is that they are going to do a little bit about how Rosita met up with Eugene and Abraham, which I think is definitely very important. It's always nice to see how different characters meet up with each other, and how they came to know each other. So I think that it's very important that we, figure that out for some of these new characters. And I think that it would definitely be a nice little flashback. Except for those episode 1 flashbacks, we know how disastrous they were. The flashbacks that they've been incorporating this season have actually been pretty neat. So I really hope that they continue to do that, I think that would be very interesting. So hopefully we see those flashbacks with Rosita, or maybe just a story, we may not even get a flashback. But I'm kind of at a loss for what I can really say about Abraham and the rest of the group, because really, obviously they're going to be trying to get Eugene help, but what kind of help it's going to be, I don't know. I mean, I can only guess that they're either going to keep him there, or they're going to try to take him back to, the church. Or, again, like, some miracle, they'll end up in the next town, Abraham will be like, search that place, get a map. Where's the nearest hospital? Grady Memorial. Okay, let's go. That might happen. But I really hope they can find a way to make it interesting with Abraham's group, or else it's going to be like filler, in my opinion. So hopefully they have something good there. And then the other thing, which I actually read, apparently from a couple of little snippets of, some things that will happen, it says that both Eugene and Carol are in a, coma-like state right now. But one of them will wake up by the end of the episode, and I wonder which one. Personally, I think it's Carol. Out of Eugene or Carol, I think that Carol would be the one to pop out of it. The reason why is because, if she did, then it would kind of set up, a lot of things for the last episode. If Carol's in a coma throughout the entire 8th episode, it kinda, is a little bit of a waste. It would be a waste for her character. And I mean, especially if they would kill her off. I mean, I think it's better to, have Carol come out of it by the end, show that, excuse me, to show that Beth has saved Carol, and then, whatever happens from there happens, because Carol might, jump out and get all warrior mode, or, something might happen. So I think that it's a lot more efficient for the storyline if Carol's the one that wakes up. Because really, I think a lot of Eugene's, what do I want to call it, making himself better, basically, starting over and making himself a better character, making himself a better person. Basically, I think that's going to start in the part B, the spring of the 5th season. I think that there is a good chance that he's going to live I don't think that they're going to kill him off in this fall part, but I don't think that he's necessarily going to have a central role until the later half of the season. And I feel like now it's more focused on, getting Beth and Carol rescued and what's going to happen as a result. So I think Carol's going to be the one that wakes up. So definitely they have a lot of things that they can work with here, and I really hope that they, take advantage of some things. I really hope that this can be a great episode that can stand on its own and doesn't just, set things up for the next episode. I hope that it actually, provides some very entertaining moments, and I think it will. So thank you all again for watching. If you have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to leave them. Feel free to subscribe. I have more videos coming. And if you have any video topics that you would like to suggest, don't be afraid to do so. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.